T-Dog, hit him with that theme music.
Skedaddle, skedoodle, the Cowboys have turned into noodles. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Chargers, you blew it. What was that? Are these teams, when they play each other, it'll be decided who wins on a coin toss. Big Brock Cox at it again. Broncos country. Where'd you go?
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm here with B-Dog. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good over here, T-Dog. We have talked about a lot of the NHL. As you can tell behind me, I got my jersey still because I want something in the background. But we're not talking about the Chell today. We're not talking about the Flames today. We're talking about the NFL.
Football. Oh, is that the right? That's the right football, right? No, this football.
No, your hat.
Oh, yes,
your
yes,
hat
yes, yes.
is the right football.
Specifically, just to a talk. That's it.
To a talk about his fifth-year option.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's
guys, it was a great podcast. We'll see you in the next one.
All right, have it going. Bye. Pranked you.
Gotcha. Funny.
Okay, well, I mean, there has been a good amount of news coming out of the NFL in the past week. Yes. Pretty interesting stuff, actually. A lot to do with a lot of big names, really big names on teams, like a lot of swap, which I love this because I feel like that also can help increase parity in the league. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there actually is. If I just quickly get it started, wait a minute. We never talked about the Super Bowl.
No, we didn't.
No, we never did. So obviously we gave our predictions.
So anti-Chief fans, it's crazy.
Yeah, so we obviously gave our predictions about it, and I'm not gonna lie, I did say the Eagles are gonna win it, and I believe T-Dog also said that the Eagles are gonna win it.
I think I did. I can't remember. It's been so long, man. I kind of forgot about it.
I did too for a bit, but honestly, I think the script writers completely came in the second half and took the win for the Chiefs. 38-35. T-Dog, what are your thoughts on the game that you could try to remember at the beginning?
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes out to me is the fact that it's like, man, Mahomes really is that GOAT, that elite.
I think
playing with a broken ankle like that, hopping around, right, one leg. The end of the day, I mean, the Eagles just did a typical choke, or not a typical, a stereotypical choke job. Oh my goodness. You know what? I blame the halftime show. It's because the halftime show goes so long, they lose momentum. Yeah, that's honestly, it. It's definitely because of Rihanna. That's for sure.
What do you mean? Also, everyone was like just kind of going off social media because she was pregnant.
How did you feel about the halftime show? That's the only reason how I got my girlfriend to watch it with me. It was because of that.
How do you get your girlfriend to watch sports with you? Halftime show.
It's literally that, you know. Yeah.
No, but I honestly didn't like it that much. I didn't even watch it, if I'm being honest, but I hear it wasn't that great, and everyone just went off social media saying she was pregnant. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, we all know last year's was probably one of the best ones. So
for sure.
I didn't
Snoop
really
Dogg,
have much
Dre, and K-Dot. Yeah,
Eminem too. Oh, it was so good. But I think one of the biggest conversations about the Super Bowl, other than Mahomes does deserve that because he is guaranteed being the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Everyone was going off because a good game got ruined because of one call, and it was the pass interference. That's weak. It was weak.
It's the same with the rush and the passer problems earlier in the season. Just it's too consistent of inconsistency with the referees, and I mean we talk about this with it seems like every league that we talk about. But
literally,
the NFL, man, it really did struggle. It's what it is, but yeah, it definitely did ruin that. And it was you're right, it was weak. Like it's so funny because it's a contact sport, and football being at such a high level of contact, it's like
literally causing concussions per month in that, and then you call that. I even saw like James Bradbury was the one who got called on. He went on Twitter and said he was holding him, but I'm sitting there like, why would you even still say that? Like, I don't really believe that. I think that's still a weak call, especially in a Super Bowl where that was one more drive. You guys have one more drive to go, And it ruined the complete game for me. It really did.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, this ruined the game.
Here's the thing. It's like every time it's like, oh, okay. There's the whole joke of the NFL being scripted, right? So you have that going on for a little bit, dies down, and then you have something like this happen.
And now everyone's going to believe it again.
Yeah, right? Like you do it to yourself. You really do. Which is it's hilarious. I think it's just funny, right? Because it brings a little bit of humor to it.
It does.
And it sucks because it takes away on how good the Chiefs played in that second half. Like they won the second half.
Yes.
Right? But no one's gonna remember that now because of one call that happened. What was it, 2 minutes before the 2 minute mark?
It was not even. I think it was like a minute, just about under 2 minutes left, and that call happens. Because I think even if they kicked a field goal, even if they scored a touchdown, everyone wanted to see the Eagles go down the field and do something. That would have
100%.
Like rely on Chiefs defense versus, like, I gotta admit, Jalen Hurts had a game, man. That was probably one of the best, like, still for a losing quarterback in the Super Bowl, that was one of the best performances out of a quarterback. That I still respect that. Like,
yeah, well, the Eagles played solid. I mean, could it be that, like, if they played any other team, do they win? Right? I mean, at the end of the day, I just think that they let their game down too much in the second half. And it seems like with Super Bowls, just the way they are, like, second half seems to win you the game usually.
You know what's also kind of funny about, like, how the Super Bowl was too? So they actually, for Arizona, they used real grass instead of turf for this field. They grew it. It was the slipperiest field I've ever seen.
Yeah, players were
for
changing.
A stadium? Oh my god!
And players were changing their cleats, right? Midway through the third quarter.
In the third quarter.
Yeah. The third quarter.
Yeah. That's brutal.
I didn't actually know that. So Arizona always has real grass?
Well, because they have a company that grows grass. They take the field, like they showed videos of this. They take the field out and let it grow in the sun, and they bring it inside so it cools down, and they repeat it every day. But for some reason, it was like everyone was falling over.
Oh, no wonder Arizona has such a struggle each season. It's starting to make a lot of sense now.
Oh my god, that's so dumb. But anyways, hey, Chiefs are our Super Bowl champs again. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. He's the Super Bowl MVP and the regular season MVP. So respect to the guy who might be in the next GOAT. It's really hard to beat Tom Brady. It really is. I wouldn't say he's the GOAT of quarterbacks, but he's making a name for himself to probably be at least top 5 now, I would say.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, how old is his career now? 4 seasons, 5 seasons in?
Yeah, like not
but like
27.
Two championships, 1 loss in there. So he's 3 appearances already. That's phenomenal stuff, man.
And he's been to the AFC Championship every season.
Yeah, you're right.
That's impressive. Yeah.
That is some numbers. Like I wouldn't know like the stats on that, like historically, but that's got to be up there.
It has to be.
100%. It's just pretty impressive.
But now we're in the fun part. We're in the off season, and the draft is coming up as well. I think I'll just get right into it. One of the first news I heard about was Kenny Golladay, wide receiver from the Giants, has been released. Actually, speaking of franchise tags, the first one that popped up on everyone's social media was Josh Jacobs getting franchise tagged by the Raiders. So running back for the Raiders. Honestly, I get it. Can't pay a running back that much yet, and franchising tag, and another year with him. Can't complain at all. And we have another franchise tag. We have Lamar Jackson getting franchise tag.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's a name that's a little important for a specific team in Baltimore.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know what Baltimore's plan here is, but franchising Lamar Jackson, especially where he needs to get paid soon. Like he deserves. Yeah,
you're gonna say if you want a good quarterback and someone to like kind of bear the team's name, like you're gonna have to pay him a little bit.
Well, actually, okay. So the funny part about Lamar Jackson's franchise tag is the Baltimore Ravens made it a franchise tag where teams could still give options to go for him. But
so he can still talk to them.
He can still talk. He can still teams could still try talking to him, trying to get him paid.
I wonder if that would maybe his agent working a little bit, because he deserves that. Like the amount, I think that he's given enough. Maybe not success is the word. Yeah, Baltimore's kind of struggled with success per se, but he's been elite enough, good enough for them that he kind of deserves to have a little bit of leeway in that say.
Well, yeah, because like he won MVP when the team was actually at its probably finest point with him. But recently they just haven't been good because they haven't given him the weapons. And obviously, another thing to add, if any team tries talking to him or signing him, is two first round picks. 2 first round picks automatically go. And I hear a lot of teams are starting to back out, but why not? Lamar Jackson's young enough. He's already shown he's looking like a good Michael Vick that won't start any bad outside of the league. Like 2 first round picks, that might be worth it.
I think the teams that need a quarterback though don't want to give up their first rounders because they're retooling or rebuilding.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem.
But Lamar Jackson is probably still a top 10 quarterback. Especially like if an NFC team wants to go for Lamar, he's probably already the best quarterback in that league. And on that side of he's finally out of the AFC. The NFC is wide open for competition for quarterbacks because who's the best right now? In Jalen Hurts? In the NFC, probably Jalen Hurts is your best quarterback out of that conference.
Oh, I mean, that's still an absolutely solid choice, though.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, that's true, though. Lamar would be like
right there,
reaching up there, either tied for first or maybe 1 or 2, like 1A, 1B thing.
Because I think I know Lamar's probably better than Dak.
I just don't think where he could go. Like I can't picture him in anything else but a Ravens uniform.
Actually, yeah, well, actually, I was hearing tons of talks, and the Washington Commanders sounded like a good place because, Scary Terry as a wide receiver with Lamar Jackson, that would stir up so much in the NFC.
That would be pretty terrifying.
Well, because before even the Jets were even in talks before another player actually got into their minds. But I think Lamar would have been a great fit for the Jets, per se. And, again, there's some teams grabbing, some teams kind of blacking out.
But don't the Commanders want Heineke to be their number 1? Aren't they trying to go with him? Or is it only if they can't find another option?
I mean, I think it's if they can't find another option, because I wouldn't see why they would not want to take the chance on Lamar when he's open and wants money than Taylor Heineke. I think Taylor Heineke is an average quarterback, but everyone would love a Lamar Jackson kind of a
quarterback. I guess. Yeah, that's you got a point there for sure.
So yeah, especially with the NFC that is kind of wide open in quarterbacks, I think that might be a great spot for Lamar to go. Get out of the AFC. We already got our own problems here with Mahomes.
Oh yeah, literally. Okay, you Bengals fans. Okay.
Well,
I see how it is.
So wait, if
you guys are fine. You're gonna like.
Did you hear what Joe Mixon did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I lost my running back.
Yeah.
A Nerf gun. Really, dude? I'm not even going to talk about it because that's just wrong. But that angers me. Just as a fan, that angers me. But anyways, let's talk about more news. Derek Carr signs a 4-year contract with the New Orleans Saints. Wow. That one was shocking to me.
I like it.
You know what?
I just automatically thought as soon as I saw it when they were at the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
And he was throwing the dodgeball game. It was like almost teary-eyed up, right? That was like the saddest thing ever.
He is up to worth $150 million for 4 years. He got it. He's got his payday.
Well, I mean, New Orleans. I mean, that's what they need. So,
yeah.
It works out, and Carr gets a thing. I feel bad for Carr because the whole Raiders' problem last season wasn't Carr. And I think it's kind of backfired, right? You get Devontae Adams, and the chemistry just wasn't there as much as it should have been. And it just didn't really work. But I wonder what would have happened if they tried to keep him and they try to run it back another year. Do you think there'd be a difference? and
I would have to see
results.
exactly what
Probably
they
not.
would do in free agency and the draft per se, because like you already had Devontae Adams, and that's really hard to just like if you look at that team alone, you still have Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, you just franchise tagged, and Derek Carr isn't a bad quarterback, but he's not Aaron Rodgers Hall of Famer quarterback as Devontae Adams once said Derek Carr was.
Yeah, that's a good point. All I know is I think Carr has a pretty solid season. I think he's going to want to prove the Raiders wrong. A little bit of revenge story there. So,
but hey, man, fresh start.
Yeah, it's good though.
Fresh start for him. And actually, you know what? If we're talking about quarterbacks here getting signed, Geno Smith signs a 3-year deal with the Seahawks. Well deserved, my friend.
Yeah, it was
well deserved.
Again, Seahawks, one of those teams that
for 3 years. Respect.
I still boggles me that whole Russell Wilson thing. Like the Broncos were supposed to just not do that.
Why do you think they brought Sean Payton in?
It was a no.
They gave up another first-round pick so they could get Sean Payton from the Saints.
And the Hawks were supposed to be bad, but they were good. They're all right.
They made playoffs. And they actually kept it pretty well with the 49ers in playoffs.
Yeah, like there's a lot of promise there, which is great. Seahawks fans are going to be pretty happy about that.
You pay for a quarterback that obviously proved himself in the season, and you have him for 3 more years. And the funny part is Seattle still has, like, I believe the 3rd or the 4th overall pick, and they could probably still get a quarterback.
Man, they can set up their prospect pool pretty solid.
Oh,
and that would leave you for a good 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I would say 5 years of a little bit of hope and promise, right? And you could kind of build up from that. So I think, somewhere in like Seattle, there's some promise there, and I think what they're doing to kind of get back up to the point where they used to be, say at the last decade. I'd be pretty excited as a Seahawks fan.
Oh, I would. 100% I would.
What do you think? Do you think after it's all said and done, the season starts, does Wilson get the start and then loses it as soon as he starts doing bad, if he does? Or do you think it's up for grabs until there's a visible quarterback that's really taking the light?
Honestly, for how much they paid Russell Wilson, obviously he's going to get the start. I feel like they will have a rocky start. I feel like their first 3 games they might lose. But I feel like by the end of the season, they might be over 500. I think just not by much, but I'll hopefully see improvement both ways here. Hopefully. Again, it is Broncos country. Let's hope to God.
We'll see. It's been tough since Manning left, so
yeah, it has been for Broncos fans for sure. And we do have another quarterback that has signed. Probably the biggest controversial talk one. Daniel Jones signs with the New York Giants for $160 million for 4 years, and also Barkley gets franchise tagged for another year.
Yeah,
what
so you can run it back one more time.
Yeah,
you can run it back one more time. I think the Giants, honestly, like.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like the don't like the signing.
I do agree that it's too much.
Too much.
I see why they run it back, but at the same time, I was gonna say Fugazi because I feel like the Giants just kept winning against teams that were just in such terrible dismay. Like, I think about like the game they played against the Packers. Like just absolute dismay, right? But I don't know, right? Like I think you have a little bit of success, you show a little bit of positivity. Why wouldn't you? Like, what would happen if you just you take the pieces that showed a little bit of success and you threw it away? How would the fans react? I think there's the fans don't really matter that much in that sense, but I think there's a little bit to do with that.
I mean, I gotta agree. So Daniel Jones has grown so much from what obviously he was campaigning with the Giants, but holy cow, $35 million a year for this man?
He's getting paid as much as Carr is now, correct?
Yeah, actually, he's getting paid $10 million more. Okay, here's my honest thought with Daniel Jones. I feel like it is quite overpay, like quite an overpay, because what you look at Daniel Jones, what has he truly proved in last few seasons? He beat the Vikings in the first round, and it's the Vikings. We predicted even that the Vikings would get
that was a Fugazi team.
Yeah, like that was one of the worst over 500 teams. Like, eesh, it was bad. And they look good, but still, anyways, with Daniel Jones, I feel like he hasn't proved enough to really get a big boy contract like that. And he was asking for 45 mil a year. He dropped it down.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah,
he owes his agent a good steak dinner. Well, yeah. More than a few.
Yeah, so he was asking for 45 mil, and every fan was like, "You're joking." And then still, when they dropped it down 10 mil more, everyone's like, "What?" Still, that's a bit too much. But he looks like Eli Manning, so why wouldn't the Giants want him?
Yeah, I again, like, I guess that's the price you have to pay to have an individual like that on your team. So I think they're gonna just try. They'll just try again. I think they're just trying to roll kind of the same chemistry or the same concoction that they had last season, and we'll see if it works. But all I know is if this season does not go as planned, man, that contract will probably be worse in the entire league.
So I think honestly, it's Jalen Hurts is number 1, Dak is number 2. I think Kirk Cousins is number 3, or Aaron Rodgers is number 3.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins is number 4, and Brock Purdy is number 5. Okay. Out of the NFC.
Okay.
I honestly would say Geno Smith and Daniel Jones go back and forth.
Man, you put Brock Purdy up. Oh, I guess the season
after that playoffs, he was one elbow injury away from a Super Bowl.
Dude, literally, it was like that's why we were so confident with San Fran. We're like, oh yeah, they're making it. And then as soon as you see
his elbow gets pulled back,
injury, we're like, oh yeah, no, we were wrong. It's like
honestly, but yeah, like I don't like the contract. I still think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, but he needs to prove more to be able to keep that contract. I think he really does. All right, we have our last quarterback on this list to talk about is from T-Dog's Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is possibly talking to the New York Jets. Do you actually think he knows?
Dude, it might. Oops, my poor hat. It might be time for Jordan Love season, man. It's very much possible.
You think he goes?
Very much possible. You know, the fact that the Jets are doing so much to talk to him and negotiate with him, like they went all the way to California for him, you know.
That's
like
nuts. They are that committed.
They want something. The Jets want him. They don't want Zach Wilson.
Dude, you know what's shocking though? Zach Wilson was still a top five pick 2 years ago in the draft. And now they're just like, nope, he's not good after that season. Okay, no. They want A-Rod.
You know what? They want the dependency of already showing success, I guess. Like I wouldn't see why you wouldn't want A-Rod, right?
Yeah.
It's just how the Packers past seasons have gone. It's like you need to change something, but if this goes and happens, which it looks like it is, and you know what, it probably will, then yeah, it's rebuild time. Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's an end of an era, and you got to see, like, dude, I don't even honestly know like what a team of Green Bay would be like with their young wide receivers and Jordan Love. Like Love is finally getting a chance, right? So there's a possibility that the prove me could get him going, because all athletes are like that, right? You know, they want a chance and they want to take that opportunity and make it the best that they can utilize it to themselves. But yeah, it's a lot to think about. It's just the amount of stuff that's happening. Yeah, but it's like you were saying before, like, what do you know is true and what's not? Like everything. Even Tom Crosby was talking about that in one of his skits. He was like, "Yeah, what do you know is real or not?" Like, I have no idea what's happening. All I know is if the trade occurs, how many draft picks are we getting?
Yeah, okay. If I'm being honest, if you're still getting Aaron Rodgers, so you'll probably get at least one first-round pick.
I want a first-rounder.
You'll probably, if you guys don't get a first-rounder out of it, it's a robbery.
Oh, 100%.
I'm just throwing that out there. And also, I do want to say one thing about the Packers, because if you think about it, when Brett Favre was playing and he was still like, he was at the age Aaron Rodgers is now, they drafted Aaron Rodgers as his replacement. And he didn't like that. He left. And Aaron Rodgers won them a Super Bowl I think it was a season or two after he left.
Mm-hmm.
Now the situation of Aaron Rodgers is like they drafted his replacement, Jordan Love, in the high picks. And everyone was talking about, like, why would you do this? Why would you not help Aaron Rodgers? You're looking maybe at the same situation happening. A-Rod goes to the Jets because he's like, I'm done with Green Bay. In 2 seasons, you could see Jordan Love become something really good for Green Bay. You could, because honestly, we've seen flashes because he's played some snaps over the last 2 years in Green Bay, but he hasn't gotten that full chance. And I'm just saying, if A-Rod goes to the Jets, Jordan Love might have a chance here to do something just like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers did.
It's very possible. We'll just have to wait and see until the season starts, right? And if it even happens, right? What's crazy is when you can make this video and nothing even happens. They're right back to the same scenario and the same media questions for Green Bay. But if it actually happens, he goes to the Jets or whatever, right? Then it's something. I'd be excited. I think, honestly, if it happens, I don't think Love's the problem. I just want to know, can you utilize some of the can you reciprocate some of the success from the young wide receivers, some of the young offense that you did? Because there were little sparks, little bit of teasing of the offense that looked really solid. It's like, whoo, like Watson and Dobbs looks pretty good. So we'll have to see how that all works out. Again, experience as well plays a factor into it too. So that's one thing, but as well too, like a team without Rodgers, that's a big jump, a massive. And it is huge. It's the biggest jump ever, for Green Bay. Maybe not ever, but like,
okay. Oh my God. So I've been literally refreshing my page on my phone just to see if Aaron Rodgers, like, something happens. I'm just sitting here like, as we talk about, well, because that's why I'm so afraid about this episode. Because if as soon as I post this, possibly tomorrow, the day after, what happens if he gets traded?
It could happen, right? Like, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, so I think Aaron Rodgers using, that retreat, right? And just decided, well, then with the cheeseheads, got to move on.
Yeah.
And I hope it wasn't from the fan base. I think it's a passionate fan base, right? And they want to see success, but when there's not success, they'll let you know.
Yeah.
So I hope it wasn't really that. But at the end of the day, like, it's weird tenure. Like, you had the early success, and it seems so easy. It seems like such a possibility that you could reciprocate that again.
Yeah.
And it just almost, but never. Like, it was just one thing after little things where it was like, only if this happened, but it never did. But, if it's time to move on, it's time to move on. I just want Green Bay to get their prospect pulling up if it does.
Honestly, yeah, you're looking at Aaron Rodgers possibly moving. I think he might go to the Jets. It's looking like that because the Jets look good. That defense and offense could look deadly with Aaron Rodgers. I know it's a bunch of rookies, and he would be technically leaving a situation with a rookie team to another rookie team. But, dude, the Jets they could have potentially made playoffs if
they had a
Wilson
solid quarterback.
Yeah, like solid quarter. Like, imagine Aaron Rodgers with the Jets next year. Who knows where that can go? And Jets fans are like passionate fans too, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, his welcome entrance will be something else.
Oh wow. That first game would be like tempting to watch.
Oh, 100%. I would watch it. Is the schedule out? Do you know if they have a schedule out for next season?
I'm not sure. I think they do that like during probably after the draft, I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah, I actually don't know, but yeah, all I know is that it's something to think about, and at the end of the day, it's it's probably, I would say it's the biggest piece of news or speculation, that's been throughout the entire offseason. Even before, there was so much to do with this, but you know what? Whatever happens, and At the end of the day, though, it's something has to change though in the Packers organization because it's just been the same story. The same story for 7 years.
Yeah, I'd probably say
because that.
Yeah, it always been that kind of talk of like it's either Tom Brady's year or Aaron Rodgers' year. That's all it's been for the last
and it just never
couple seasons.
Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, he leaves. So I'm still happy for him. I'm not no hate for him.
Actually, speaking of probably the biggest news in the NFL right now, the Carolina Panthers acquire the first overall pick in the draft from the Chicago Bears. Wow, that trade broke the internet.
DJ Moore's a pretty solid pickup. I'm just saying.
Chicago agreed to trade their first overall pick to Carolina for the 9th overall pick in this selection, a second-round pick, a 2024 first-round pick, and wide receiver DJ Moore.
Holy moly.
Okay, I do have a lot to say because I think
pick
the Bears
number 9 too. I didn't even realize that.
2 firsts and a second and a good wide receiver.
Dude, pick number 9. That's solid though. I didn't realize it was number 9. I thought it was a higher pick.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So actually, I think 100% the Bears win, and I think they made the right choice. And this is why I think this is because they are now committed to Justin Fields. What Justin Fields was able to do last season on his own with a team that obviously looks like it's rebuilding, he did it perfectly. They did this trade perfectly because now they have the 9th pick. That's another second rounder. And they have 2 first-round picks going into next year, and you require a wide receiver threat that finally Justin Fields can throw to. Like, dude, the Chicago Bears made a smart trade here.
Oh, yeah. It was – look at that. Hold that for the – I get for the number 1 overall, but it's like I haven't heard much about this year's draft being stupendous, right? Very
so if you –
it's possibility.
I think if you're Carolina, you're obviously looking for a quarterback, but dude, there are I feel like, so if I'm correct on projections, there's 2 very good edge rushers projected to go in the top 3. And there's at least 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks. There's Bryce Young, CJ Strauss, and Richardson from Florida. Like, I'm not going to lie, the quarterback, okay, it's probably not the strongest quarterback draft class, but it's looking strong and it still looks good. It still looks good. Better than probably I would say last year's.
Yeah. So number 1 supposed to be Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama.
Yeah, I hear he's like one of the best edge rushers in like national football right now.
Yeah, and then Bryce Young would be number 2 quarterback. Jalen Carter from Georgia. So you got 2 Alabama players. The top 3, one from Georgia.
Not that shot.
CJ Stroud, 100% right. CJ Stroud, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Number 4, Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. He would be center back. Then another edge, Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech.
Who's projected to go 9th?
Ninth is so they could possibly pick up a quarterback and Anthony Richardson from Florida.
Oh.
So I mean, you get another quarterback, right? Like, and that's not bad. I mean, but look at also what you have. You have Quentin Johnson. You can pick up a wide receiver. You can pick up Miles Murphy.
It's crazy because not even like I know we're just I think it's first weekend to free agency, but dude, there's still tons of names to go out, and this is still the biggest trade so far.
The Bears could literally, after getting this. And the Bears could seriously get some solid pickups just from what they have still.
They could set themselves up to probably win their division here.
Think
about it. If Aaron Rodgers actually does leave and goes to the AFC, he goes to the Jets.
Dude.
Who do you really have?
The Bears being... the division's going to be flipped, bro. The division will be flipped. This 1980s called, bro. 1980s called. Oh!
We're gonna live in an era where the Bears are better than the Packers again.
Bro, hey, maybe life will go back to normal, right? If everything's like the 80s, maybe some stuff will just go back to normal, which whatever normalcy is. But like, I don't know. All I know is, solid. But I was thinking in my head, I'm like, that Panthers trade, I'm like, What if it ends up with the McCaffrey trade? Because it kind of worked out for both teams.
I think this does.
It could, right? I mean, but that first overall, like, but what do you think? What does Carolina need right now? Just anything. What do they need?
Everything. But obviously, so I say everything
But they
because
could get a
be honest.
quarterback, right? They could get a quarterback.
Yeah, so because if you think about it, Carolina obviously hasn't done really anything since Cam Newton took them to that Super Bowl, and they lost to Denver, right? They lost in the 50th Super Bowl. And obviously they've been kind of tanking ever since then, realistically, because all their best players left, retired. Cam Newton kind of got ruined by injury, so they got rid of him. And honestly, draft a quarterback. Why not? That or get an amazing edge rusher. I think, honestly, it is a win-win trade here because now the Bears finally decide to fully commit to Justin Fields, trade, get more assets and more weapons, and Carolina gets what it needs, a first overall pick of whoever they choose.
Yeah.
So, like, they have options. They can look around. They can figure out what they truly want or what would work for them.
Yeah, it's just I always feel like when you have the first overall, there is a lot of pressure just because, like, think of it, you don't make the right decision. That stings. But it's like good, right? Like I think that the Panthers need to rebuild, so it works on their end. It's just the Bears got so much in return.
Oh my god!
It's just crazy. It's actually crazy.
You already added another first round pick next year for the Bears, right? And then you added a second for this year, and you still add DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And he was the number one wide receiver for the Panthers. So him going to Justin Fields that could throw a ball, that might be good. That will be a good duo.
You know what?
Wide receiver, that will be a great core.
You could be seeing a lot of highlights coming this season
with those two.
Very
I think
possible.
So, but it's a good stepping stone for the Bears, and I think it's a good stepping stone for the Panthers.
The fans deserve this, right? It's been a lot of years of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And right, little bit there's a glimpse of hope. There's a glimpse of hope.
Yeah, exactly. There's hope. And if you even look at the Bears, realistically, what if they had a true starting quarterback? And be honest.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only one I think of is like Crowder, I think. Jay Crowder in the 2010s. Like Mitch Trubisky when they first drafted him over Mahomes. That was funny. But like they traded.
That's what I'm trying to say, though. What if that happens with Carolina?
Oh, if they trade well, there's a lot of, again, that's the first overall pick. There's a lot of options. You just have to, I feel like if you have a first overall pick, you look at your options way more than most do. Because you get to choose.
You really think about it.
Yeah, I feel like you think about it more as a GM having the first overall pick than probably a top 15, like a 15th pick.
Yeah.
You take the best on the board. No, you are the first on the board. Who is the best? Who do you need the most?
Just pick it. Like again, it's like, and it's good from their position. Whereas if a team, for say had one position that was really lacking, then you're kind of cursed with both, where it's like, do I just pick who's best or do I just pick the best in that position? I think you just pick who's best, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They just do it. I mean, I guess in their sense that'll happen anyways, but just do it because I don't think there's anything that can go wrong, right? If there are two great players fighting for a position, right? The competitiveness there, right? You're gonna get more output from those players too, just because of that.
Yeah, true. And I actually just searched this up. So Carolina Panthers did release their top 5 needs going into this offseason. And number 1's a quarterback. Number 2 is an offensive guard. Number 3 is a linebacker. Number 4 is a corner, and number 5 is a wide receiver.
So Bryce Young is probably going to be number 1.
Because there's a lot of talk with CJ. I think CJ might be the best quarterback in this draft class, but Bryce Young is Bryce Young. Bryce Young is performed so well, and it's so hard to tell, man. It's so hard.
Yeah,
I think a quarterback will go first, but it's on the Panthers of who actually does.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It's tough. I don't know, but hey, I guess we'll see. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to NFL Discussion. I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like, leave a comment, and leave and follow.
We're almost at 220.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate that. Thank you.
T-Dog, take her away. I'm ruining it.
All right. Well, like B-Dog said, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, however you guys are consuming this content. If you like it, smash that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. Also, comment question of the day. Who won this Bears trade? Bears or Panthers? Also, Rodgers going to the Jets? By the time you probably see this video, he probably already has. So how do you think about
the first overall pick?
Who's the first overall pick? So a few questions that you guys can answer. Leave that down below. But anyways, guys, keep on doing what you're doing. I think we'll come back with probably an NHL episode after this.
Maybe.
We'll see. I mean, the Bruins clinched. Yeah, that plus the Bruins clinched, so there's some stuff to talk about. But hey, man, we're closer and closer to playoff season, so we'll keep going. But yeah, anyways, guys, take care. Have a good one.
See you in the next one.
Peace.